I'm not taking credit for this because I'm not smart enough to actually find this out, because I would have never found this out if it wasn't for this. In Your Vicious Kin, in verse 1, it's, you promise you never be my torturer. For such a nice girl, you sure do talk like a freak. I started out as Estelle, now I feel that more Inez. You can read the words, right? Yeah, you can read the words. Anyhow, this is apparently a reference to the existential play No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre. Sorry if I mispronounced that. The narrator, which I'm going to talk about this right now, it says either Sylvia or Janine. The narrator is Sylvia, because in the song prior, Starstruck, the second part, I call it interlude because that's what I found it as one time. But the part where, Janine is done singing, or whatever, and then it goes kind of downhill, and then it gets to the really weird part where it sounds like machines are cranking and crungling. We could talk about that in a different time. That is Sylvia singing, saying, hey, even though you're starstruck by me, you are the reason I am anything. Which then goes to Your Vicious Kin, where she realizes I'm not a good person, basically. The narrator, Sylvia, first compares herself to Estelle, the emotionally disconnected woman who drives her lover to suicide, then to Inez, a cruel and manipulative woman. To Estelle, the emotionally disconnected woman who drives her lover to suicide. We're not going to talk about that part because I haven't actually read the play, so I don't actually know all about the stuffs. What I do know is emotionally disconnect, which I find pretty interesting because later on, that is how Janine describes Sylvia, an emotional vagrant. Emotionally disconnect could mean a bunch of different things, like how she's disconnected with her emotions. But then she turns into a fretlin sadist, which if you don't know what a sadist is, it's the opposite of Markiplier. It's someone who enjoys delivering pain to others. We're not going to talk about that crappy joke. I had a joke planned for it where I'm like, Estelle, isn't that the person that voiced Garnet? We're not going to talk about that. More about No Exit. I haven't read it. I will read it, though, but I have not read it for this sake. I just want to get it out there because I think it's really cool and interesting. No Exit is a one-act philosophy drama by Jean-Paul Sartre, performed in 1944 and published in 1945. Its original French title, Huis Clos, I don't speak French, I'm Mexican, is sometimes also translated as in camera or dead end. The play proposes that hell is other people rather than a state created by God. Yeah, you could kind of describe hell being other people in Burn Pygmalion. Either Sylvia's relation to Janine, Janine's eventual relation to Sylvia, the voyeuristic spirits, in relation to Janine's just sanity meter and whatnot. Estelle Rigalot is a young society woman from Paris. Orphaned as a teen, she married a rich older man to support her and her brother. Had an affair, which, as we've talked about, not in this video, but in another one, Sylvia may or may not. I'm still leaving it up on the table. I need hard dang evidence to see that there is a third person in this entire album. Please. She does have an affair. Okay, that's the thing. It's not technically an affair because they don't say they're in a relationship and whatever in the album, Janine and Sylvia. But also, maybe, with a boy closer to her own age. Or with a boy closer to her own, not prosperity, like fandom, like status. Since she is high status, it would make sense for her also to go with someone with high status to try to keep her fame up and whatnot. And drowned the resulting child. I don't think she drowned a child, although crushed out on Soda Beach could be something. I don't know why it's called. I probably should look into that. What was Inez's sin in No Exit? Inez confesses to having seduced her cousin's wife while living with them. She explains that she enjoys making vulnerable people suffer. Her guilty lover killed them both by leaving on the gas while she slept. What was the rest I have here? Yeah, she needed a mirror so she can basically see how she sees herself, which is similar to, I think it was Sylvia's Just a Dying Fad, where Janine is like, hey, you're a B-word. B-word? It's not exactly that. It was It says in Sylvia's Just a Dying Fad, when your walls go up, I hope that they're mirrored. So you can serve your sentence with somebody sympathetic. Darling, you're a heckler, trying to track your cell phone. Yeah, she needs just so you can see who you actually are. With someone who is similar to you, see how much of an ape. Maybe that is the ginger hair lady. Someone sympathetic. What if instead of Janine being like just, hey, I hope you suffer, it's you are gonna suffer with that whore. Pardon my language. Dang. Why do people do that? Just a little side question. Frick. Yeah, it's 5 minutes. Little side question. Why do people call other people whore? At least, like, I say with my sister. Like, she's just kind of like, oh, you whore. To, like, her friend. And I'm like, what the frick? Is this normal? This is not my tie. Oh, yeah, you can't see it. I'm wearing, like, a proper, like, stuff for this. I think it feels nice. Anyhow. Inez. Someone who is evil, just purposely evil on purpose. This is singing in Sylvia's perspective. She feels like she is an evil person. You've really brought out my inner sadist, which is not the dream. Oh, I'm sorry, which is not the Dream SMP animator. Shut up already. Funny haha joke, but it's basically just it. That's it. She feels like she's becoming an evil person, and does she become an evil person? It depends. If she sees herself being with. Boink. There you go. She sees herself being with the ginger-haired lady a bad thing, then yes. If she's talking about the fact that she just left Janine in a countryside house away from all the fame and whatnot to just have her chill the frick out, maybe yes there. What is that thing? What is that thing? You can see. Hold on. You can see the clouds here, but then it kind of does this funky shape. Interesting. But yeah, that's that. That's what I've got. There were some other little bits and pieces too, where maybe Janine's eyes could be like the Eye of Providence, where she's constantly watching over something, like how God watches over his children. She's watching over her love, or whatever, her prized possession, her creation, and whatnot, similar to Pygmalion. Other funky details, I guess. I originally thought these were like bubbles. They're eyes. They're straight up eyes. In the end of the book, or in the book, the little booklet you get, you probably can't see it. Come on. Yeah, you probably a little bit right there. That's a bunch of eyes. In the vinyl cover, you had one. In the vinyl, you had an option of Burning Glow, and I forgot the other one name, but it's just freaking eyes. It's straight up eyes. Just eyes. You have eyes. What else? Also, I guess for another little question, is this first person, third person, and whose person perspective is it? This is in Sylvia's perspective, I think, the entire album. Even though it would be a really good contender for it to be Janine, I think it's Sylvia because of that detail, and also how she's kind of the main character and everything. Which is kind of ironic because it's called Burn Pygmalion, and she was the thing that is not necessarily the poster child, but the poster child of this, I guess you can say, whatever. Anyhow, that is all.